Hey everyone! So I wanted to spend some time today going over another one of the new Louis Vuitton quads. Today we're going to look over the shade or the quad Dazzling Gaze, which is the pinky rosy quad. And then I really wanted to go in on a deep dive on the Louis Vuitton lipsticks. There are 3 different formulations. There's a matte, a satin, and then a lip balm. Although I think of it more as kind of a low coverage lipstick. I really like all 3. So I thought today what we would do is look at the couple of satins I have so you could see what kind of colors you like, etc. And then maybe with some of my upcoming videos, we can look at the mattes and the balms. So if that sounds good to you, then like, subscribe, follow along, shop my links, all that goodness, because this Louis Vuitton stuff ain't cheap. But I'm here to show it to you today and give you a couple of looks and a review of this quad. So if that sounds good to you, then sit back and let's go. So I recently went to a conference in Baltimore, and then when the conference ended, I took the train up to Manhattan for a few days. And while I was there, very short trip, I contacted the Louis Vuitton store because if you followed my channel for a while, you would know that I have been in a battle pretty much since the makeup came out. I got my initial order, and then I placed an order for some of the refills. So I originally had got a quad and then 3 refills, and then I placed another order for the other 4 refills, so I would have all 8, and some lipsticks and such. And for a month and a half, it said pending verification. And when I would contact them, they would go a week without saying anything, or they would tell me that they had oversold the product and that they were looking to give me an update shortly as to when it might ship out. Well, my friend and yours, if you follow Beauty, Alicia Archer, told me just go to the La Beaute boutique in Soho, which is dedicated at least until the end of the year and has all of the lipsticks, all of the shades, all the inventory, and you can try it there, and it's just a really interesting experience. And so I reached out and got a sales associate, Taylor, which I'll link below in case you're having some of the same trouble locating Louis Vuitton products. And she was so great. Took me in, showed me the beautiful store, the swatches, the different galleries and interactive exhibits. I'll try to post some of it here. And then she was able to locate all the items that I had in my shopping cart that I had purchased on the website. So I was able to just purchase them there and then have the website refund me back the money. So I'm able to have, the collection of what I wanted now. And the one I'm going to show you today, like I said, is the Dazzling Gaze quad, which is the beautiful pinky rosy one. And I know that these refills, even the refills, are expensive, so I wanted to show you 2 looks with it today. So we could try to, achieve 2 very different looks, but with the same quad. I've already done my base, and I've got some new products on today that I will link below. But I think it looks really good. It's the Tom Ford foundation and concealer, as well as the new Tom Ford sort of primer, that Soleil Neige primer / glow serum I have on underneath it. It's also a mixing medium. And then I have some classics from Tom Ford. My bronzer is Gucci in shade 1, and my blush is the Chanel stick blush. Earlier this year they came out with 2 in the summer, an orange and a pink. But I didn't know that they actually had these as part of their permanent collection. And so while I was in New York, I grabbed shade 20, which is this beautiful, slightly glowy nude shade. And I think it is a really beautiful blush just for that kind of very light nude ethereal look. And finally, my highlighter today is part of the new Dior Circus holiday collection, and it's the powder highlighter, and this is in the shade Dior Star, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It feels a little dry on the touch, but it goes on so beautifully. It's transparent, but it has a light gold, and then it has a lot of other multicolored sparkles in it. Very unique for the holidays, so I have that on. But let's get to the main reason we're here today, which is the quad, and then we'll go into the satin lipsticks. So I want to do two looks, one more wearable, one more dramatic. So this quad has a multi-chrome, which is the kind of classic pink to gold. It has two metallics, and it has this matte over here. So what I'm going to do on this side over here, and I'll bring you in a little closer, is start with that matte. Let's go in a little closer, shall we? Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to start with that kind of pinky matte shade. When I swatched this in the store, I was surprised. It was pink, but it wasn't as pink as I thought it would be. It certainly wasn't like a Barbie pink. It was a beautiful, refined sort of shade. And that's really, if you followed my channel, kind of my thoughts about the entire Louis Vuitton collection is it's very refined, really elegant, really beautiful formulas. I'm going to build that up a little bit on this outer corner here. These are beautifully pigmented, but they do require a little bit of building. They are for that LV customer, so they're a little bit, they just require a little bit more building, but the pigment and the finish is gorgeous. I'll run some of that under here as well. And like all the others, absolutely no fallout. The experience in that store was really beautiful. If you have an opportunity, it's supposed to be open through at least Christmas. And Taylor was my associate, and she was so helpful in having you try on the shades, swatch. Obviously, they bring you champagne or water, whatever you'd like. It's that full Louis Vuitton experience. But there's not all the bags and everything. There's a small selection of the makeup bags, but it's really just about the beauty. Although there were a number of people who came in while I was there looking to buy luggage and were told they had to go around the corner. I'm going to go in with this darker berry color down here, which is a metallic. And I'm using a 13 Max, and I'm going to build up that outer corner. This is a really pretty color. It's got a lot more depth. This would be a pretty one and done color. That's beautiful. Now, obviously, if you wanted these to be stronger, you could use like a Pat McGrath Intensify wand, but I find they have a lot of pigment, no fallout, no creasing. They just work really beautifully. Now I'm going to grab this duochrome here, which is kind of that classic pink to gold duochrome. And I'm going to place that on the bulk of the lid. And you can see that's got a lot of shine. The metallics in this collection are super refined, and they have kind of beautiful floating sparkle. And at first, you don't really notice them. You think, well, that's just a pretty metallic. It's when you get out in kind of the sun, or you really look at them, that they have this kind of veil of sparkle that's hard to achieve. And I don't necessarily have it, certainly not in another luxury formula quite like this. I've been really pleased with this. I know they're controversial, but I think Pat McGrath and Louis Vuitton did a beautiful job on these. And like I said, I bought one of the beautiful cases, and I've stuck to the metallic, or excuse me, to the refills, and that's a way to collect the product but not spend as much. Now there's this beautiful, my phone is blowing up, this beautiful white pinky color up here, and I'm going to grab some of that on my pinky finger and put that on the inner corner. And that's just a really beautiful, lovely, it's got a slight shift from white to pink. but a beautiful color. And I'm going to bring that up to add some lightness to that portion. And I'm actually going to put a little bit under the brow as well. And that's a beautiful look. So on this eye over here, I wanted to do something a little bit sort of lighter and more everyday, and then we'll come in at the end and put liner and lashes and all that on. But on this side over here, I'm going to start with that same pink matte that's in here, because there is only one real matte in here. All the metallics blend out nicely. And I'm going to do a light wash of that. And build it up just a little bit in the corner, not as dramatic as the other side. I'm trying to show you a more wearable look over here. Okay, now I'm going to take that multi-chrome shade and just place it on the outer portion up against that pink I've already placed down. Outer kind of quarter to third, and then all over the lid and on the inner corner I'm going to place that white to pink duochrome that's up at the top. I want this look to be a little bit lighter, but still use all four shadows, and I'll show you how in a minute. I find with these metallics, they work beautiful with a brush, but they also work really great with your fingers. I'll grab a little bit more of that duochrome color just to place on the outer portion here where they meet up. And you can see that's a much lighter look. Now what I'm gonna do as far as the liner on this is grab, in this case, number 21. And I'm going to wet my brush just a little bit, and I'm going to grab some of that dark berry color that's down at the bottom. And even though it's metallic, these work really well as kind of a liner. And I'm just going to draw in a kind of simple liner, but because these are metallic, they look so impactful. I think that looks really beautiful. These shades work really well wet. And I'll go in a bit with a little bit of that pink on the bottom. That one matte that's in here. And I think we have two completely different looks here. That was intense. Two completely different looks here. One very dramatic and evening, one much lighter, but it still's got a lot of drama on it. So I grabbed the Lisa Eldridge Burnt Umber liner and lashes. For some reason, the Lisa Eldridge liner and lashes, especially this Burnt Umber, goes so well with so many of these Louis Vuitton quads. I've really been relying on it, and I think that it looks beautiful. I think it's because it has just a slight bit of warmth in it. But you could obviously use something a little bit lighter, a light pink or something if you wanted, particularly on this eye over here, if you wanted it to be less dramatic. I think this looks really beautiful though. I'm gonna grab her Burnt Umber mascara and put a coat of that on. Complements this look really well. I think we have two completely different but beautiful looks here. And I gotta say, I really love the way that burgundy shade, that berry shade, that metallic, with just a little bit of water turned into such a beautiful liner. I think both of these are really pretty looks. Okay, let's zoom you out and we're gonna go on the lipstick deep dive. Okay, so Louis Vuitton Beaute has 3 lipstick formulas. They have a balm, which is more like a low coverage lipstick. I really like it. I think if you're looking for like a balm for like a Fenty balm or a YSL Love Shine, you're going to be disappointed. These are very firm, very tight, a lot of hydration and a good amount of color, but they're more like a low colored lipstick. And then they have an exquisite matte formula and a really stunning satin formula. So I thought today we would look at the satins that I have in my collection. They won't all match this eye look, but at least it'll give you an idea of what the different colors are in the collection. I obviously don't have them all. Some of them just wouldn't work for me, but I think that this will give you a good idea of what the collection has to offer. I think the satins are really lightweight, a lot of pigmentation, really beautiful shades. So if you're interested, you could check out the website, or like again, I said, I'll put Taylor, my essays information in the bottom. So let's bring you in, but this time on the lips, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to bring you in a little closer on the lips, and I'm not going to use any liner today because I just want to show you the way the colors look without any, but I have found the Westman Atelier, the Victoria Beckham, a lot of different liners look really beautiful with these. So the first color I'm going to show you today is, I think, probably their best seller, and that is the shade Monogram Rouge. It is the dark kind of brownish burgundy, and you can see with the bullets, they're really beautiful. They have the LV engraved on them. And then, like I've showed you before, these have no stickers on them. Now, mine does because I'm going blind. So I put a sticker on here just to tell me what the color is, but it is etched on there. It's just hard to see. So I'm gonna go in with Monogram Rouge. And these won't be perfect because I obviously would use a liner, but you can see that is a beautiful color in their satin formula, Monogram Rouge. I'm impressed with how lightweight and beautiful these are. So the next shade I'm going to show you is Unreachable. And it's kind of a burnt red, kind of cinnamon color, but in this same beautiful satin formula. Very beautiful fall color. And again, I'm not going for perfect here. I will on the last one and show it to you with a liner, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of the colors and the beautiful formulation. This is Unreachable. Okay, so the next color I'm going to show you is called Silk and Spice. A beautiful, warm, kind of chestnutty color for fall. These are really exquisite formula. And of course the component is stunning as well. So this is Silk and Spice. I love that. Well, good thing I only have a few because my lips are burning. But the next one I have is the shade Dune Explorer. It's a beautiful pinky, kind of smoky pinky nude. That really is kind of just a My Lips But Better color. I really like that. They have such a wide variety. I believe there are 55 in the lipsticks and then 10 more in the balms. Just the most stunning colors, which you would expect from Pat McGrath. Dune Explorer. The next one we have is the deepest of the satins I have, and it is the shade Rumbling Storm. It is a brown with a bit of purple in it. Really, really stunning and less intimidating on the lips than it looks in the bullet. Because this is such a dark color, obviously I would wear it with a liner, but just to show it to you today, this is Rumbling Storm. These are intensely hydrating, and they feel so light on the lip. So the next shade I have to show you is also a nude, but this one's much pinkier, a beautiful color. This is Beige Machina. That's another one sort of My Lips But Better. But unlike the Dune Explorer, this one's got a little bit more tan in it, where the other one had a little bit more pink. But you can imagine this with a liner. It's just really beautiful. This is Beige Machina. And before my lips completely fall off, I'll show you the last one that I have in the satins. And this is the one I actually think will go best with the kind of pink look today. And that is Spell on You, which is a beautiful pink. It's got a little bit of fuchsia in there, but it's not too intimidating. They certainly have more pinks and purples and beiges, but I think that this is a beautiful kind of pink color that's not overwhelmingly intimidating. And since this is the last one that I'll be showing you, I am going to grab a liner, and today I'm going to grab liner number 2 from Victoria Beckham. And you can see how well that goes with that liner, which the liner is kind of a beautiful nude, but then you put that gorgeous kind of spell on you color on top. I'm going to put a little bit more. I mean, look how beautiful and shiny these are. And the rumor in the store was that coming in the spring will be liners. You know, God knows how much they'll cost. And I guess there's not really a way you can refill those. So let me pull you out. And you can see how beautiful that color goes with this eye look. Really that, or the Beige Machina, any of those would look really beautiful with this, or you could go really vampy. I think it's a beautiful color. It's a beautiful formula. And like I said, in future videos, when we look at some of the other quads, we'll take a look at the matte and the balm formula. I love this Louis Vuitton line. Like I said, buy one component and stick to the refills, and it's a little more reasonable. I think it's really beautiful. Check out the website, and if you'd like, you can definitely contact Taylor at the La Beaute pop-up store, which is in Soho at least through December, and she will be happy to help you. I think both of these looks are knockouts, and I'm really happy with this. I think this is probably the quad that probably a lot of people were not excited about because we have so many pink quads and palettes on the market, but I think it is really stunning and a really beautiful formulation. So if you like this kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing, following along, and shopping my links. Obviously, I don't have an affiliate code for Louis Vuitton. I doubt they even know what that is, but I do for the other beautiful products that are on my face today, from Tom Ford, from Gucci, from Chanel, and from Dior. I love these looks, and if you like this kind of content, then like I said, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. Unsolicited Advice on Instagram and YouTube, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.